Good evening, good morning, good night, you lovelies. It is the one, the only Cappy D Barra, and we are here to talk about One Piece, chapter 1166. Okay, now, respectfully, there are a couple more videos that have to go up in the next couple of days, but as I said, your boy got a little bit of free time on his hands. All right, so we're going to be getting into this chapter. Quick spoilers: there is no break next week. Let's motherfucking go. We love seeing shit like that. I even love the color spread for this chapter. It's just Luffy and Zoro, and like it's just all the Straw Hats. I believe they're in some kind of forest, and if I had to guess, it's somewhere near Wano, because we see a young girl from Wano, and we also see Yamato. They're eating a bunch of like hot sweet potatoes or like sweet yams or whatever. It's pretty nice. It's pretty cool. All right. There is a lot to speak about in this chapter, man. There's a lot of really good stuff about this chapter. All right. The chapter opens up with the death of Rox D. Xebec. All right. RIP my fucking goat, man. It is so unfortunate to see. He's looking at Garp and Roger's unconscious bodies. They gave everything that they had to put Rox out of this kind of reverse state. It's interesting though, because Rox, after this massive attack from Rox and Roger, because Rox after this major attack from Garp and Roger went back to normal. So my theory about Sanji having to clip Dory Arbaragi to quote unquote finish the job, that's completely out of the realm of possibility now, being that Rox did not die from that attack, and it seems that the person to take the final strike was Shamrock. I do kind of feel like this is Oda just kind of trying to find a way to. I feel like this is Oda just making sure nobody dies from like an attack in his comic book. I understand that's like a Japanese law, like you're not allowed to just show like explicit violence without grading it. So it's kind of like the movie laws over here, but I don't know, man, something about it. It's like, bro, how did neither of those attacks leave that nigga Rox unconscious and unable to breathe? This nigga's sitting up speaking in full sentences. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Listen, it's fine, but in totality, I wish that we could have got maybe a little bit more of feats, right? Because that's a Roger feat, that's a Garp feat. If this attack clips Roger and just takes him out for good, we're missing out on good shit there. We're missing out on good shit. Shamrock's pussy ass, bro, from 15 miles out, he swoops in and he's takes the kill for himself. Not a big fan of that. Also, fucking Gabon and Rayleigh have to make the save for Garp and Roger. Where the fuck is Bogard? Bogard, dumb pussy. Shit's insane, bro. As everyone's making their escape, we see God Valley sinking. All right, we're getting word that the island is sinking into itself, and after this, we're just seeing news spread from around the world. I mean, from Roger all the way to Garp, all the way to Loki. All right, everyone is distraught over the news of the death of Rox D. Xebec. All right, Rox, he really did leave such a monumental impact on the world. Okay, without this event, without God Valley, there is no Shanks, right? Shanks would be Shanks, but Shanks wouldn't have the divine departure if Rox wasn't where he was and did what he did that day on God Valley, right? We see Shanks get found in the treasure chest. We also see Shaki and Rayleigh just seem real comfortable together. That's awesome, even though he cheats on her in the future. Whatever, who cares, right? Sengoku and Garp, they come to blows over the truth of the matter after reading Morgan's paper, being like, oh, everything was great. The Marines did a great job. Garp is like, bro, I fought something of cosmic horrors, and it was on the behalf of not the government but myself. The world government was the causality of this cosmic horror. Why the fuck are you still sitting here trying to raise the ranks, Sengoku? And they have a really interesting back and forth, and Sengoku says, bro, you can't change anything from the fucking bottom of the mountain. And it's that's kind of true. It's kind of true. They end up coming to blows where, I assume this is where Garp gets a special tool that he uses later. But after coming to blows, Sengoku says, so what? Are you going to quit on us now? And Garp says, no, you idiot. There are still people at the bottom of the cliff who need protecting. And I guess my only issue is, if a Marine can go from being a normal Marine to being a fucking Gorosei, I don't want that guy to be protected. But I kind of understand when Garp speaks about, because there is a Helmeppo, there's a Kobe, right? right? There is a doll, right? There are Marines who, like, we do not want to see on the losing side of any battle anytime soon. Rightfully so. Last but not least, Loki. He is bawling his eyes out. You know, he is just on top of Mount Elbaf. He's still about maybe 9 and 11 in giant years, maybe about 20 or so in human years, and he is he is very distraught, very, very distraught. We see him reminiscing on a time where he called Rox the king of the world. We are reminiscing on a time where Loki called Rox Nika, all right, presuming that he would be the god that would destroy the world while laughing. Now, obviously, this is very different to what we know Luffy to be, somebody who will liberate the world while laughing. But all this goes back to the Harley text and the diverse understanding and, you know, the multiple interpretations of Nika. You know, it's very important to understand that over the times and over multiple cultures, there have been multiple Nikas. You know, to the fishmen, Poseidon is quote unquote Nika, right? Even though it's like different because Nika exists to the fishermen, there isn't a direct lineage to Joy Boy like there is with there isn't a direct lineage to Joy Boy and the fisherman like there is with Poseidon and fisherman. We can even say that for whatever god of the earth turns out to be. If the god of the earth turns out to be Emu or whatever celestial dragon force, it would make sense that the Gorosei would do whatever they can in their protection to protect, like could do whatever they can by any means to protect this earth god, being that this earth god is their quote unquote Nika, right? It's just simple things like that I just think makes the story so fucking interesting. All right. But you know, Rox retorts that, you know, he can't be Nika because he wants to be king of the world. And I think this is beautiful because this is also Blackbeard's ambition. And it's interesting because, like, listening to Rox and just seeing how he goes about things, man, this is like this is a refined, more purpose-driven Blackbeard. This is a Blackbeard with courage. This is a Blackbeard with a heart, and this is a Blackbeard with intention. The Blackbeard that we're getting now, even like naming his ship the Sword of Xebec, right? It's interesting because Rox intentionally hid that name. He intentionally hid that name where Blackbeard relishes in it. Very interesting. I also really appreciate Harold's crash out, man. Harold, he sees a giant attacking a village somewhere in the West Blue or something like that, maybe near Elbaf. And, you know, Harold's immediate reaction is he crashes out. You know, as we see the military and the world government, as we can see that the Navy and the world government will manipulate headlines. So it reads, Harold fucks some nigga up, you know, it caused chaos, you know, that's the headline. But in reality, Harold is mourning his blood brother in Rox, right? And it's really sad, man. He says that his own contentment, like him being so content and him being so okay with the world government stepping over and stepping on him, physically stepping on him, forcing him to do things he doesn't want to do, treating him like a pack mule, treating him like a bodyguard for like holy tributes and stuff like that. These are things he all put up with. Even listening to the stupid rules, these are all things that he put up with to win the favor of the world government. And he's understanding that there is nothing that you can do except for fully go into what you want in this world. You cannot half step. And it seems like Harold kind of goes above and beyond to show that he will not half step any longer. And the kind of complacency that he was keeping with himself when it came to a full integrated Elbaf. He was complacent with just half stepping and being all the way in and not all the way out and all the way in and not all the way out. He was okay with that because that's what the world government was delivering. But slowly but surely, he understands that there's only one real way to go about it. You have to go the way of Rox. You have to put your all into it. And that's why I'm really saddened by this choice. But, you know, we learn in the next couple of pages after he crashes out on this giant, you know, tears flowing down his eyes, like building debris falling on humans, all types of crazy shit. Harold washes up to the shores of Marijoa. He self-mutilates himself. He rips off his horns and he says, I will do whatever I can to be in debt to you to atone for the sins of giants for the thousands and thousands of years against the world government. I'll even become a slave if it means my people can become one with the world government. And it's the strength that he is pulling through. It just goes back to what Loki and Harold were talking about earlier in the chapter, where Rox was saying that, you know, he doesn't understand why Harold doesn't want to give him a call back, but Loki can't seem to leave him the fuck alone. And Loki kind of eventually asks, like, you know, why aren't you and my dad joined forces? You know, because you guys would be such an unstoppable team. And, you know, it's very simple and it's heartbreaking. Rox says, because of love. Because Harold knows if he goes even 2 steps too far with Rox, the world government could, you know, completely annex Elbaf from trade, could starve out the people. I mean, we've seen what happened when they had a harsh winter. They had to get saved from neighboring nations. The world government can prevent that. And that's a world that Harold does not want to exist in. And that's why he goes to Marie-Joie. He self-mutilates. He puts both feet on the ground. And he goes fully committed to this. Such as Rox was fully committed to becoming king of the world, okay? Throughout everything in Rox's life, and even in Rox's death, he sent echoes throughout the goddamn world. All right, and it is so beautiful to see. I am just pleased that this backstory is being like tied up in such a neat little bow. You know, everyone has complaints about Wano backstories, and even some people are kind of bagging on the Dressrosa backstories, but this backstory is like, it's perfect. Like, it's fucking perfect. And I don't even feel like this is a review, it's more of a rant, because the things that Oda can string together with just a couple of pieces of literature and like with a couple of fucking words, man. Like, the things that Oda can string together with a couple of words, a couple of sentences, all right, and some callbacks to really rich lore, it's like, man, I'm so happy about this chapter, and I'm just looking forward to the next one. Again, no break next week, so everything we got in this chapter is going to be shooting straight forward into next Thursday. I mean, inshallah. I mean, this is good. This was great. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we can get from our next One Piece chapter. Okay, One Piece chapter 1166. This is my official review / rant. Okay, this is your boy Cappy D Barra. All right, hope all of you have an amazing rest of your night, day, or whenever you're catching this. And as I always say, all right, stay tuned, stay safe, stay beautiful. Peace.